Father and Son.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's wonderful to see you. We begin tonight's service with my favorite nigun.
Bina, by the way, means discernment and wisdom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
What a special Shabbat this is. Tonight we say thank you to Cantor Ott for a wonderful year filled with beautiful music and great learning. We'll celebrate Cantor Ott a little bit later on in the service. And tonight we celebrate Pride Shabbat. Shabbat is about imagining a better world. It's both a time for pause and rejuvenation, and an opportunity to think about how we can make the world a better place in the week ahead. Pride Month, which celebrates the impact of the LGBTQ community, takes place in June to commemorate the Stonewall riots of June 1969, considered the birth of the civil rights movement of LGBTQ people. As a Jewish community, we celebrate Pride from a deeply held conviction that everyone in our community should be able to be present and live openly as their full, authentic, whole, and holy selves. We continue to pray and work toward a world where everyone can do so, where everyone can be who they are and love whom they love. We continue welcoming Shabbat with Lecha Dodi, beginning on page 138. We will chant verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we get to the last verse, I invite you, wherever you are, here or at home, to stand and face a doorway to welcome in the Shabbat.
Kala, nekabla, lechadoti, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet, ve'letila, lechadodi, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla, lechadodi, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla. Lekrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor ha'beracha. Mirosh mikadeh nesucha, sof ha'aseh b'machshavat tefila, lechadodi, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla, lechadodi, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla. Hitoruri, kivat ored, kumi ori, uri, shida biri, kivor Adonai, alayik nikla, lechadodi, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla, lechadodi, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla. Please rise, oiva shalom, ateret bala, tam nesimcha, uv'tzohola. Adonai, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla, lechadodi, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla, lechadodi, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla, lechadodi, lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla.
You may be seated. In just a moment, we will continue welcoming Shabbat by lighting the Shabbat candles. I first invite you to turn to someone near you and wish them Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And if you are watching from home, I invite you to share in the chat box your Shabbat Shalom greetings. Tell us where you are joining us from. And with the lighting of the Shabbat candles, we think about the light that has entered into our lives this week. And so if you're watching at home, I invite you to share in the chat box what things brought life to you this week. And if there's something that brought you life this week, let us know. Anything?
The Danny Levinson concert.
Okay. Well, something that brought light to our community literally just a few hours ago. We have the newest member of Temple Emanu-El. Rabbi Prosnit and Ariel Traub welcomed a new son into their family today. And everyone is healthy, and we wish them a very hearty mazel tov. And it's now my pleasure to invite Rebecca and Isabella Dewey and their mom to join us here on the bima for the lighting of the Shabbat candles. We continue on page 120 and 121.
These Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among us who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav letzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you. We continue with Shalom Aleichem on page 142.
This very beautiful melody is by my colleague, Cantor Natalie Young.
Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashavim Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu
We continue on page 146 with the Baruch Hu. Please rise.
Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai.
We continue together in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokma poteach she'erim, uvitvuna mishanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, u'mesader et hakochavim, b'mishmorateim barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo. El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Aravim. You were God, and we were Israel, God alone, and a lonely people. Long ago, you loved us a great love, and you taught us how to respond to you. We are together still. You respond to every people in your chosen way, with your love. You have chosen to respond to us. With our love, we offer your praise.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. To lead us in the Ve'ahavta, we invite Isabella and Rebecca Dewey.
You're skipping. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi etzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvletecha b'terech uksharvecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha Uptaftam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim Elohehem Ani Adonai Elohehem Hoseitik etem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem l'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohehem.
Thank you, Isabella and Rebecca. We continue on the top of page 157. Please join me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Mi kamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilo, osei feleh. Mi kamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot, osei feleh.
Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you?
Malachutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam ze Elianu anu ve'amiru
Adonai Imom le'olam ha'ed. Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai.
We continue with the Shamru on page 100.
V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם
We now come to the Amidah, the portion so central to our worship that it is simply referred to as the standing prayer, or just the prayer. During this prayer, we are alone with each other and with God. We begin in unison, led tonight by Lena Peachman. So Lena, I'll ask you to unmute yourself and turn your camera on. Woohoo! Lena will
He muted.
How come we can't hear him all of a sudden?
As soon as he said unmute yourself, we couldn't hear.
I think because you're going now.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, no, it was just those who were told to turn their camera
Okay. Adonai sifatai tifta ufiya gitehilateha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'koneh hakol, v'zoker hasde avot v'imahot, umiviye geula livnei v'nehem, leman shemo behava, melech otzer o Moshiach o Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mehaye hakol atah rav lehoshia. Morid hasal, mechalhel hayim behesed, mehaye hakol berachamim rami. Somech noflim verofe holim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishanei afar, michamocha ba'al gevuro, umidomela, melech mimit, umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lechaychot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Amen.
Thank you, Lena, and thank you to the youngest of the Dewey sisters for coming to our rescue, and the youth shall lead us, as they say.
Yes.
We continue our prayers silently. You may be seated.
Shalom Rabbi Yisrael Acha, Tasim Le'olam. Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
In our chat box, we have Shabbat Shalom greetings from Terry and Rick Class, Amy and Paul Meshes, our loyal viewers from Austin, Texas, Steve and Betty Barkan, who just returned from Boston after celebrating many joyous moments in the lives of their grandchildren, and from the Peachman family. Even as we celebrate the joy of Shabbat, we turn our thoughts to those who are in need of healing. And we continue with the Mishaberach on page 371. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, bless and heal those who are ill. I now invite those of you who are at home to share any of the names of those for whom you are praying, and if there are those for whom you are praying tonight, I ask you to share their names now if you would like. And from our congregational family, we pray for the health and well-being of Gabby Kraft Buckman, Summer Curter, Arlene Furman, Neil Silverman, Mason Rockmore, Martin Ostroff, Pearl Weitzman, Aaron Taylor, Perry Shellman, Sharon Neese, Andy Secutris D'Orio, Joyce Kagan, Ina Batvelvel Draymond, Kathy Murphy, Betsy Miller, Stephen Brundage, Betty Moore, Madison Mosher, Stephen Wasser, Melissa Bayer, Anita Engel, David Lazar, Amy Lederer Shapiro, Rosalie Elbaum, Stephen Anthony Sussex, Benjamin Kagan, Rosalie Landau, Michal Shmuel, Sharon Shapow, David Mazel, Connor Galinas, Ari Brofman, Susan Diamond, Naomi Abramson, Gloria Fleischner, Howard Kessler, Beryl Ben Avraham, Anthony Corrales, Cheryl Becker, Michelle Colburn, Michelle Sherman, Joyce Marone, Jack Nat, Shirley Rosenberg, Gertrude Lewis, and Gary Donner. May you give comfort and strength to all of those who are ill, and help us to be well again. Remember those of us whose bodies need comfort and strength, healing and renewal. Remember, too, those whose pain and anguish are emotional and psychological, pain of the soul rather than of the body. May God grant strength and comfort to those who care for the sick. May God help us find hope and courage as we face fear and loss. May all who are ill be surrounded by the love of friends, loving companions, family, and community.
Misheberach Avotenu Makor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of prayer, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Makor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We celebrate all that is sweet in our life by joining together in the Kiddush as we rise and turn to page 123 and join Cantor Ott.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitchanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'asei v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh, zeicher litziat mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uv'ratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. You may be seated. I am proud to say that my path crossed with Hannah Lieberman long before I came to Temple Emanu-El. And I'm also proud to say one of the reasons why I wanted to be part of the clergy team here was because we have members like Hannah Lieberman. So it is my pleasure to invite Hannah to join us and share a few words in honor of Pride Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. They say that time flies when you're having fun. Early one morning, more than two decades ago, how is that possible? Our son Josh left us a note on the kitchen counter letting us know that he was gay. He was 16 and a sophomore in high school. Most of his friends already knew, and now it was time to tell us. The Jewish mother in me prepared for that evening's long conversation by stopping to buy chocolate muffins and flavored coffee. That and many ensuing conversations were filled with a wide range of emotions for all of us. Fear, confusion, relief, euphoria, uncertainty, acceptance, mama bear instincts, and determination. 3 weeks later, we joined PFLAG, whose initials at the time stood for Parents, Families, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. Founded in 1973 after the simple act of a New York mother named Jean Manford publicly supporting her gay son, PFLAG is the nation's largest family and ally organization. PFLAG unites people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, non-binary, and queer with families, friends, and allies. Its mission is support, education, and advocacy, with close to 500 chapters nationwide. At our first meeting, I felt instantly at home in a room full of so-called strangers. Our journey took many twists and turns, including Josh being instrumental in forming Westfield High School's Gay Straight Alliance and convincing his drama coach to stage the Laramie Project. In fact, he was so involved in it that one of his friends joked that it was the Lieberman Project. When we as parents began to come out to family and friends, we were fortunate most of the time to be surrounded with love and support. This has also opened the door for previously closeted friends and relatives to talk about their own LGBTQ kids and provided us with many opportunities to share our own personal perspectives. I have always loved being Jewish. My parents of blessed memory were workman's circle Jews who instilled in their 4 now Jewishly diverse children a fierce sense of social responsibility and respect for human dignity. Not only have I found my own spiritual home in Reform Judaism, but I am doubly proud as the mother of a gay son to be a Reformed Jew. I have often listened to LGBTQ friends as well as parents from other faith traditions tell heartbreaking stories about their own congregations, Stories of alienation, exclusion, bigotry, calls for reparative therapy. The list goes on. I feel outrage on their behalf and at the same time personally thankful. I am part of a movement whose underpinnings are social justice and human rights, a religious community which has set an example of inclusion and affirmation in the synagogue and in the rabbinate, and has taken a public stand nationwide for a wide range of LGBTQ civil rights. Several years ago, when URJ President Rabbi Eric Yaffe appeared at Liberty University by invitation of the Reverend Jerry Falwell, he spoke eloquently about common ground as well as their different approaches on a number of issues. He said, "You oppose gay marriage while we believe in legal protection for gay couples. We understand your reading of the biblical texts, even if we read those texts in a different way. But LGBTQ Americans pose no threat to their friends, neighbors, or co-workers. And when two people make a lifelong commitment to each other, we believe it is wrong to deny them the legal guarantees that protect them and their children and benefit the broader society. We teach our children and we learn from them. On our amazing journey, our circle of friends has expanded. Our sense of family has taken on new meaning. Our horizons have broadened and deepened in ways we could not have imagined. For all of that and much, much more, I say to our warm and loving community, Kol HaKavod and Toda Rabah."
Thank you, Hannah, for those lovely words. Josh is so fortunate to have you and Steve as his parents.
You might not say that all the time.
Well, if he heard this, he would. And as those of us in the LGBTQ community can tell you, we would be nowhere without the love and support of our family. Now we turn our attention to celebrating Cantor Anna Ott, who we have had the pleasure of listening to and learning from this year. I cannot believe it is over so quickly. It seems like we just got started, and it is my pleasure to invite Cantor Novick to share a few words with us.
Anna, if you sit down, no one will see you. So maybe come over here if you're comfortable enough. You came to us on the wings of angels. There is no other explanation. It was as if the stars were in alignment, in perfect alignment. To say that we are all so grateful does not do it just cause. It was just a miracle waiting to happen. This has been a very difficult year for our congregation and for you coming into this congregation under certain conditions which were difficult for all of us. But it really has been a wonderful year for me and our congregation because of you. You've shared your talents as a cantor, a scholar, and a wonderful teacher. The B'nai Mitzvah students love you, and you did an amazing job with them. Amazing job with them. In the scheme of rhythm, you didn't miss a beat, and we've been so blessed to have you. I've always felt privileged to have you as a colleague, and I'm grateful that we had the time, not enough time, but some time to get to know each other better. We do have a gift for you, but the clergy are a little selfish, and we want to give it to you in private by ourselves. It is on behalf of the congregation and us. God bless you, Anna. Thank you for all you've done for us. It is immeasurable, and you will always have a place in our hearts. And maybe you'll come back and sing with us.
I'd love to.
And I know you had a few words to say.
Yes, I do. Shabbat Shalom. Imagine being given a treasure chest, and every 15 minutes, a sparkly sprite or elf pops out and entrances you with tales of worlds known and unknown, dreams, observations, and innocence. It was my complete delight and honor to be privy to, and at the same time shepherd, a flow, a current of 12 and 13-year-olds stuck inside through no fault of their own. I remember being a young teen, and to me, the joy of going to school was seeing my friends. I felt such rachmanis for these kids. So our FaceTime B'nai Mitzvah lessons were a chance to step outside for a few minutes and experience some connection. When God hands you lemons, you make lemonade, or lemon meringue pies, or lemon chicken. I had a wonderful year at Temple Emanu-El, and I will always remember the unique experiences we were able to have. We all got good at Zoom, and jokes about being muted and unmuted will abound for years to come. Staff meetings became Hollywood Squares. More on that later. We gained new skills. I finally learned how to use PowerPoint, and I created a number of slide presentations with music, one of which I did here on the subject of the creation of Israeliness, the Israeli personality, through music. Ordinary phone calls were no longer enough. We had to see each other's faces via FaceTime or Zoom. Those are good things that will continue. It has been lovely to close out my pulpit career in this very special and warm place. I have made do with imagining the scene in that office hallway on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, full of B'nai Mitzvah students and their parents, as well as the close proximity of all offices and their occupants. I imagine an endless coffee clutch. Very soon, you will resume this scenario. Have a coffee for me. Thank you to Joanne Pass and Lori Zinberg for all help, Jackie Gruscott for her tutorials on how to change my signature, and all other staff for your helpful and friendly faces. Thank you to Mike Kenny and his team. You oversee a huge operation, and all sound and video needs are covered, period, and so much more. Thank you to Perry Klass and Mark Epstein and his search committee, the first faces from Temple Emanu-El that I got to meet. This has been a beautiful opportunity, and I hope we made the most of it. Thank you, Rabbi Victor Appel, for your very insightful sermons and special readings. In our staff meeting, Hollywood Squares mode, you were always Jonathan Winters or Paul Lind.
I take that as a compliment.
You bet. Ready with a joke at all times. And you know I love to laugh. And to Becky J, it was wonderful to meet a rabbinical superstar on her way up, up, up. Martha, you're an institution in the cantorate and one of my early inspirations. I remember that white suit. You oversee an enormous B'nai Mitzvah program with care and love. Your love of each of these children shines like the sun. I was thrilled to attend a Shabbat Hallelujah service in person, another example of your vision come to life. Purim was hilarious, and I got to be Haman in a King George III wig. It was a thrill to sing Ki Elecha with Rick Calvert, whose guitar playing was featured on Sharona's original recording of this song. I will be thinking of you, Martha, as you have your big celebration next year, and we honor your amazing career. Rabbi Ethan Prosnit, Mazel Tov on your new son. You rule from wherever your square is on the board. You make everyone feel special and a necessary part of this temple. You kept this congregation together and connected in a very challenging year. I loved all the drive-bys and outdoor events and sharing the bima with you on Friday nights and B'nai Mitzvah services. It was my profound pleasure to share my favorite prayer melodies with you. I look forward to seeing where your insight and creativity will take you. Your passionate advocacy for social justice issues will be my pride and joy to watch. As your family grows, I wish you and Ariel bountiful happiness and endless nachas from your children. I will be retiring from Bima life, but embracing real life all the more. I have grandchildren and choirs, the great loves of my life. I will become the new artistic director of Kol Dodi, the Jewish Community Choir of Metro West, while continuing with my groups in Middlesex County. Hopefully, this will keep me in your midst as we resume live performing. As Rachel Maddow would say, watch this space. I wish the entire Temple Emanu-El family a successful return to in-person life as you welcome your new assistant cantor, Ilana Goldman. Much love, peace, safety, and justice for all. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Anna, for those beautiful words. I won't say goodbye because you have often said that if it weren't for this darn pandemic, there were many a cup of coffee and lunch dates that we would have shared. And we did squeeze in one lunch date, which was great fun. And so I know that in the future, especially as your work takes you into Union and Essex counties, we will continue to meet for lunch and for coffee dates in the future. So we have been so privileged to have you here, and we all wish you incredibly well. Thank you. Our worship continues this evening on page 586 with Aleinu. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hako, l'tet gedula liyotzeh breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei aratzot, velo samanu kemeshpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishavim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim akadosh baruch hu.
You may be seated. We continue on page 591. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, of peace.
V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo
O God, remember today those who were martyred in years past because of their sexual or gender identity, those murdered by fanatics in the Middle Ages, those who perished in the Holocaust, and those struck down in our own cities in our own time. Remember also those who took their own lives, driven to despair by a world that hated them. And in mercy, remember those who lived lives of loneliness, repressing their true nature and refraining from sharing their love with one another. As we remember those from our congregational family, I invite you to rise and remain standing when the name of your loved one is recited. Tonight, we remember those who have died in the last month. George Spiro, grandfather of Shoshana Nat, Louis Gould, father of Joshua Gould, Paul Lobel, father of Jamie Sherry, Susan Klein, wife of Peter Klein, Kay Herman, mother of Phyllis Brown, Roger Buffman, father of Shana Stefanak, Pauline Flaxer, aunt of Cantor Novick, and Judy Gilbert, aunt of Lori Zinberg, as well as those whose yurtzites fall this week. Maury Acker, Gussie Barron, Freda Bauch, Leonard Barrison, Morris Blakesberg, Eleanor Brown, Marna Burkhart, Hannah Burnett, Faye Cummins, Irma Dopkin, Harry Eric, Henrietta Eric, Ida Eisenberg, Mo Farber, Lawrence Fine, Vivian Finkel, Luba Ninberg-Glass, Dorothy Godfrey, Samuel Goldman, Lillian Goldstone, Mildred Gompertz, Ida Grant, Yitzhak Grinstadt, Sanford Guttentag, Arnold Holtzman, Lenore Horowitz, Herb Jarecki, Stephen Cabin, Lillian Katz, Jack Kessler, Monroe Lafkowitz, Stuart Layden, Minnie Levitt, Martin Lucan, William Needell, Louis Neubauer, Gus Nidweski, Theodore Picker, Selma Quenzel, Bess Reichman, Libby Savid, Renee Saxon, Daniel George Schaffman, Kenneth Schaffman, Annie G. Smith, Mo Steinberg, Estelle Tassman, Louis Turk, Max Wasserman, Nathan Wofsky, Louis Wurtzel, Philip H. Zach, and Aaron Zavaro. We join together with the sacred words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, v'yalmad divrach v'yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon uvyomechon uvchei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'elam ulmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitumam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shmei getusha b'richu, le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, and to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. Our observance of Shabbat continues tomorrow with Holy Scrollers at 8:15, followed by the Minyan at 9:30. In addition, Lena Peachman, Isabella Dewey, and Rebecca Dewey will each be called to the Torah. Mazel tov to them and their families. Simchat Shabbat is tomorrow at 9 a.m., both on Zoom and, wait for it, right here in person in the building for the first time. This summer, we will be welcoming our new assistant cantor, Alana Goldman. Please check future emails for opportunities to welcome her in the coming weeks. We will also join together for a One Book, One Congregation program. Under the auspices of the Tikkun Olam Committee, we will read Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. So add this important book to your summer reading list. Cantor Ott, what's our closing song?
Well, in honor of Pride Shabbat and so many other things, this is a version of Hinei Matov by Rick Recht, and I'm going to make a little substitution. We usually say Hinei Matov Umanaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Achim, meaning brothers. We're going to change that word to Kulam, everybody. Hinei Matov Umanaim Shevet Kulam Gam Yachad. May take some getting used to, but it really expresses everything that we want to say about how wonderful it is for us to be together and celebrate everyone for who he or she is, and everyone loves who they love. Hinei matov u'manayim shevat kulam gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevat kulam gam yachad. Try it. Hinei matov u'manayim shevat kulam gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevat kulam gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevat kulam gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet kulam gam yachad. Hinei matov u'manayim shevet kulam
טוב ומנעים, שבכולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבכולם גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבכולם גם יחד.
Grant us, O God, your merciful protection, and in protection give us strength. And in our strength make us wise. And let us use our wisdom for justice. And with our justice may we mingle love. And with our love of God, O God, the love of you. And with the love of you, the love of all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.